Etale Old Bori Road. Stakeholders react differently to River State government moves to probe past administration. Labour Union defends picketing of PHED other offices. EFCC files fresh 19.4 billion naira charges against former aviation minister brother. On the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State assures Ukraine president of quick arrival of U.S. military aid. I'm Ifichukumoyle with the news. We begin this bulletin this afternoon with reports that River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has commissioned the Aleto Ebubu Etale Old Bori Road. The commissioning is part of activities lined up to mark the first anniversary of his administration. The governor will commission about 10 other projects he inherited and completed in his 1 year in office. Some residents of Port Harcourt spoke to our correspondent about the governor's performance so far in the last 1 year.
In the try well.
I never see as bad as no that I dey for in head. I feel say maybe that one make I know the focus waiting is supposed to do for office.
I know what he's doing. The wicked tried and is here doing his own too.
My own experience, this governor is a good governor.
This conduct we go no say yes, our governor they try. But if it is still high, them know how them go take they do their say we will no get to go they manage.
Name is Okunwaji Ifeanyi, the number one local government of this River State. Governor Fubara is doing well this first administration.
I believe with many more years to come, he will do more better than what he has started.
Government is only the civil servants are receiving more than we will be business people and the other people. So we are begging him so that he remember the poor people.
The people that are troubling or disturbing or distracting this man, they should allow this man to work for River State.
Moving on, a human rights activist, Charles Jaja, has called on Governor Siminalayi Fubara to back up his words with action by launching an investigation into the 8-year administration of his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, in River State. Mr. Jaja made the call in an interview with correspondent Mekotoka while reacting to the governor's plan to establish a panel to probe the previous government's tenure. He emphasized that Rivers residents have raised concerns about the acquisition of government-owned properties by private individuals.
If the governor matches his words with action and ensuring that the immediate past administration is probed, he would have ended up putting his name in the annal books of history of the state. We do not want to see a situation where this will just be mere rhetoric statements and all that. Rivers people are now eager to know what happened to the NDDC building. We also want to know the true position of our plane that was in Germany, which the previous administration said they expended so much on government buildings along the old GRA that was housing civil servants that have all been converted to private use, and several other government property along the D-line axis and new GRA.
Mr. Jaja further urged the people of Rivers not to perceive the governor's action as witch hunting.
I don't want anybody to see this as a mission of witch hunting. What government should do is that they should ensure that the thorough thing is done. Rivers people want to know the true position of things and also to know the actual thing that has been done in the past administration, and also look at the appropriation, because most things that are done in the administration, not mention that they were budget. We want exactly know what was in our budget. These are things that the government must begin to, so we will fully address and involve or transparent in the past administration.
However, a former Maker Awo said plan with the River State government past administration is mere witch hunt that will escalate ongoing crisis in the state. Former senator who represented the River Southeast in the National Assembly said him to initiate any probe at this stage of the crisis could be viewed as vendetta. Now, the comments come after River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara said he will set up a panel to investigate the 8-year tenure of the last administration. Governor Fubara said this while administering the oath of office to the new Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of the state, Dagogo Iboroma, at the council chamber of the government house yesterday.
Why are we bringing you at this very critical time? We have a lot of issues around us. We believe that you're not going to be the one that will, when they send a service to you, you go and find nothing, or you go and find one thing that will kill us here. Please, defend us. We know that you're going to defend us because your record is clean. A gentleman, peaceful, you're not a noise maker. People like that are endowed. You have a big task. As it is today, in the local palace, they said the jungle has matured. We will be setting a panel of inquiry to investigate the affair of governance.
The governor also dismissed the claim by the former Commissioner for Works that the FCT minister assisted when he was at level 14 in the civil service to become governor.
If in 2010 I was a chief accountant at level 13, Those of you who know the civil service, where will I be before 2023? Because you want to impress your paymaster, talk careless. I won't reduce myself to that kind of talk. Being honorable is not lying. Being honorable, as a matter of fact, for one to be called honorable, you need to live a honorable life.
Governor Fubara also said that there were deliberate attempts to sabotage his administration. Of the public, the spokesperson of the State Police Command, Grace Iringakoko, said in a statement on Monday that their target are mostly women. The statement said that the syndicate also beat up their victims. It said they extorted 1.8 million naira from one of the victims. And now the National Assistant General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress in Rivers State, Chris Onyeka, has defended organized labour's decision to block the corporate headquarters of the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHEDC, and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. Mr. Onyeka spoke on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire.
A strong message to the federal government, to the power ministry, and to the disco for your job electricity tariff up. Because the law wants all the parties to sit down and discuss the consequences of such action. It is when we sit down and discussing the consequences, you cannot do this. The law wants us to sit down so that all the stakeholders who are going to be affected by such adjustments bring on board, we bring on table what their issues are. That is why the law made that pronouncement. And since it was not full, we were not given the opportunity to tell this the police.
His comments comes after some Port Harcourt residents criticized organized labor for their action.
They are fighting for themselves, and that's why we have to sit up to make sure everything goes well. So everybody now is suffering, everything's going wrong. Now I'm going back to my house with nothing. I'm a family man with 4 children. Nothing come out.
That's not a good thing because that's not what they should prioritize now. So there are a lot of things that are hard in this country, not tariff. So the prices of goods are going up. Citizens are finding it hard to feed them. So I think that protest shouldn't go on. I think they should look for another thing else to do, not to go for because of tariff, or they should prioritize.
Better is for themselves, not for me.
As you may know, the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC yesterday blocked the corporate headquarters of the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company PHEDC on Monday. They also blocked the office of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission NERC. River State NLC Chairman Alex Agwawo, who led protesters to picket the offices, told correspondent Yobi Oruware that the electricity tariff increase is discriminatory.
In as much we want more power supply, but we don't want it to be discriminatory. Because we have seen a case here now where they take from the poor and give to the rich. Because it's very obvious that what NEC is doing is that they give power for those who they think can pay. And now for those who cannot pay, they put them in darkness. And for us, we are all Nigerians. We have only equal right to power. So they should not discriminate who gets power and who will not get. So we're asking them to reverse this tariff. It's very discriminatory and it is not acceptable. Let that tariff plan be changed. Let them revert back to the old 65 kilowatts tariff. Let everybody have equal tariff plan. And let power be provided for everybody.
Mr. Agwawa also accused NERC, discos and transmission companies of exploiting Nigerians.
Even those are paying for the 20 hours band A plan, they are not getting power for 20 hours. But they are being billed for that amount. What kind of injustice is that? What kind of country are we? We cannot continue in this way. Well, we have had volume of complaints, mostly from our own members. And these workers are given a target. Even when they know the operation they are working for is not doing the right thing. Whether you use power or not, they will give you bill. And a man that did not get light and you are coming to collect from him, most of our members who are working under them have faced various harassment at different levels, some even almost to death.
Still to come, EFCC files fresh charges against former aviation minister. Brother, stay with us. Former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, his brother Ahmed, Sirika and his company, Enginos Nigeria Limited, with over 19.4 billion naira fraud. The sum is said to be for several aviation ministry contracts from the former minister. The Enginos Nigeria Limited, owned by Sirika's younger brother, Abubakar. They are to be arraigned before Justice Belgora of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Garki, Abuja. The federal government will soon begin a new wage system based on employee productivity in the civil service. The Director General of the National Productivity Center, Nasir Raji Mustafa, said this during an interview with journalists. Mr. Raji Mustafa said with the system, workers on the same level could earn different salaries. In business, the federal government may need to raise a supplementary budget to accommodate the proposed minimum wage increase for workers. The International Monetary Fund gave this recommendation in its latest staff country report for Nigeria. It said the reason is that the negotiated amount may surpass the budgeted amount in the original 2024 budget. And now to entertainment. Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi says the celebration of the first anniversary of her Guinness World Record feat would last for 5 days. In sports, Bayer Leverkusen coach Xabi Alonso says he hopes to manage all three of his former clubs, Liverpool, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, but is not certain in which order.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that military aid is now on its way. Mr. Blinken said this during a surprise visit to Kyiv. The top U.S. diplomat assured President Zelensky that the weapons will make a real difference against the ongoing Russian aggression on the battlefield.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Governor Fulbara has commissioned the Aleto Ibubu Eteo Old Bori Road. Stakeholders have reacted differently to River State government moves to probe past administration. And on the foreign scene, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has assured the Ukraine president of quick arrival of U.S. military aid. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Ifechukwu Monyele. Many thanks for listening.